Welcome once again to Legal Translations, the Language of Your World blog, where you learn tips and tricks for using translators and interpreters. Well, this is Jose Vega, your federally certified court interpreter once again. And remember last video, I was telling you about how we do not have an association, an official association that is part of the state that registers all translators, document translators. Well, today we're going to talk about interpreters. It's a little bit different. We do have in the state of Florida and all the states have a list of certified and registered and qualified court interpreters. It's a little bit different from other countries in that it is not mandatory to be registered in this list to be able to interpret in court. The judge has authority to be able to accept, if he or she wants to do so, an interpreter that is not part of that list. And since the list is only limited to very few languages, three or four, a handful of languages, usually Spanish, maybe Italian, Vietnamese, depending on your state, and Haitian Creole here in Florida, since it is a very limited list, judges need to have that flexibility to be able to use interpreters that are not registered. There's a registration process, there's an orientation, that all takes time. And some of these interpreters for very exotic languages, they're not going to go through all those hoops to do one job a year interpreting, especially in these exotic languages. But we do have a certification board in the state of Florida, and I do suggest that whenever you do hire an interpreter for one of these languages where we do have a certification, to go ahead and get a certified interpreter. They have to pass through a written test and an oral test. At least you have some vetting going on there. So where we don't have an official association and it's not as strict, the requirement to be registered is not as strict as other countries as far as interpreting is concerned, as opposed to translation, as far as interpreting that is oral translation. We do have an equivalent of a translators bar, translators association, official association, where for court interpreting at the state level, you do have to be registered. You do have as well, you do have a certification at the federal level for the federal courts. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Please, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for these tips and tricks from us at Legal Translations, where we speak the language of your world.